Hey, okay, so I know I'm absent. I'm really sorry, but just please be patient. I appreciate you watching these videos and trying to get through this. Everything in the next 3 videos are from last year, so hopefully this is just straight up review for you. Okay, so this first video has to do with pages 3 and 4 in your packet. So here we go. Last year you talked about the equation of a line being y equals mx plus b. That's called slope-intercept form because on one hand it has the slope, which we represent by m, and it also has the y-intercept, which we will represent by b. When we're talking about slope, if you remember, slope is the rise over the run. It's the change in y over the change in x. It's the change or the shift that we make going up or down versus the denominator, which is the change or the shift as we move left and right. And when we're talking about the change in values, we're talking about the subtraction of the values. Think about if I tell you that the price of something changed from $5 to $2, and I asked you how much it changed. You would tell me it went down $3 because you subtracted 5 minus 2, and you know that it went in the negative direction. So with that said, keep in mind that the slope formula, while it is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, really what that's doing for you is it's subtracting, getting the difference of my y's over the difference in my x's, okay? All right, so again, we also said the y-intercept is our b value, and the y-intercept is where we cross the y-axis. And that y-axis is the one that's vertical, it's the one going up and down. Okay, so if we're given an equation that is automatically already in y equals mx plus b form, we're able to pick out the pieces we need. In order to graph a line, we need the slope and we need the y-intercept. So if you have a hard time identifying the pieces in the equation, just remember that the slope, what color did I use up here? Slope is green. So the slope is always going to be the number that's married. So our m value is married to the x value. They're always attached. They're always together. They are always connected. And then our b value, our y-intercept, is going to be by itself. In fact, this b trend continues. Not only is the b value the one that's by itself in the equation, it's going to be the one that we begin with when we go to graph. So now that I've looked at my equation and I realize that my slope is 3 over 5 and I realize that my y-intercept is positive 2, I know that I'm going to start with that y-intercept. I begin with b. So on my y-axis, I plot my y-intercept at positive 2. Now that I've plotted a point, I can use the slope to help me find another point. If it's a rise over run of 3 over 5, I can either go up 3 and to the right 5 to find the next point, or the reverse of that is I can go down 3, 1, 2, 3, and to the left 5. Notice either way we're on the line that we're looking for, but we're just going in 2 different directions, just whatever, just showing that it goes in the same direction. In a sense, it's creating the same line. Okay, so once I have these points plotted, 2 or 3 of them, I take my ruler, I take my straight edge, and I draw a line connecting them. Once I do that, I add arrows at the end, and I'm good to go. Hopefully we're good on that reminder. If you are, turn the page. If you're not, ask someone around you. On the next page, it's going to do the same thing, but we have to acknowledge something first. Notice this equation is not yet set up as y equals mx plus b. This equation has y in it, but that y is not alone, and that's a problem. So in order for us to get y alone, we need to isolate the y. That means kind of using algebra in order to move pieces around so that y gets alone. So in order to move y into a position by itself, notice that they subtracted 8x from both sides. 12 minus 8x is not a set of like terms. I cannot do 12 minus 8. Please be careful with that. 12 minus 8x stays as 12 minus 8x. Next, we got it down to having 4y, but still we don't have y alone. So to get y alone, we divide by 4. And if we divide that by 4, we divide everything by 4. Meaning not only are we going to divide 12 by 4, but we also divide the negative 8 by 4. Every single thing is getting divided. Once I do that, we realize we have y equals, that's what we wanted. And when we divide by 4 in the other two pieces, that simplifies to be 3 minus 2x. So then once again, I look to my equation and I know I need to figure out what is my slope and what is my y-intercept. My slope, my m value, is always going to be the number that's married to x. Actually, I should make that green, I think. It's going to be the number that is married to x. So my slope is negative 2, or in other words, it has a rise over run of negative 2 over 1. And it has a y-intercept, a b value that's by itself of positive 3. Now that we've gotten to that point, we can graph. I know I'm going to start with my y-intercept of positive 3. That's where I begin. And then I follow the slope from there. It's a slope of down 2 to the right 1, or up 2 to the left 1. Once again, notice I'm on the same line. I'm just going in a different direction. I'm creating the same slope, but I take my straight edge, I connect my 2 or 3 dots, and then I put arrows at the ends, and I'm good to go. Again, if you have any questions on this, talk to someone around you. Shoot me an email. Hopefully, maybe I can get to you, but I also might be on an airplane or at a wedding. But in any case, try and look through that. Always remember that you can look at things on your textbook site. You can look at the textbook itself. You can also look up YouTube videos on how to graph a line, but hopefully this video assisted.